All right, so I just saw a video on YouTube. It's like it wasn't a video. It was a live stream on YouTube with Vegan Gains versus what's his name? No Bullshit. He named his channel No Bullshit. Okay. So anyways, Vegan Gains, which is a hilarious name in itself, and No Bullshit. They get into a debate. Vegan Gains obviously is vegan, very knowledgeable guy. He's actually pretty funny, raw dude. Oof. Right? But anyways, so they're having a debate, and I couldn't watch the whole. I couldn't really get through it. Right? It was a little annoying to watch because the no bullshit guy, he wouldn't let Vegan Gains make his argument in the debate. He kept cutting him off. Kept changing the subject, he's trying to control the flow of the debate. Which is kind of annoying because he was being extremely intellectually dishonest, right? When you debate with someone, if you're going to make any kind of progress in the debate, there has to be a certain level of honesty. You can't just be saying stuff and deploying arguments just to rationalize your position. You can't just keep changing your stance because then you don't get anywhere and the debate ends up being, it just takes forever. It's unnecessary. And so I guess what they were talking about Vegan Gains thinks meat eating is immoral. Right? Me personally, I do not think meat eating in itself is immoral, but meat eating to me is immoral in modern society. I can say that much. Right? Because we don't need to. Right? So when you participate in death and suffering, even though you don't have to, that is immoral. Right? That's the whole point. That's my stance, period. If it is immoral if it involves unnecessary death and suffering. That's it. There's just no arguing against that. But fine. So basically, the guy, I guess, no bullshit, his argument was meat eating is moral because it's legal. Of course, that argument is flawed in so many ways, right? If you smoke weed, you ain't trying to hear that. What? If it's illegal, it's immoral. What? Weed is illegal. It's not immoral. That's a BS argument, right? Slavery used to be legal. It didn't mean it was moral. Everybody knows slavery was immoral. So you obviously something being legal and moral, you can't really conflate the two. They're two separate things. So you can't say that. So Vegan Gains says you're using a appeal to social contract fallacy. And as he's trying to explain it, the no bullshit guy continues to cut Vegan Gains off and takes the no off and just bullshit, right? All right, fine. Now these debates, they get so heated and they take forever. They take so long, and people get so pissed off and heated and all this type of stuff. And it's such a simple topic, right? Is meeting immoral in itself? No. Is unnecessary death and suffering immoral? Yes. Great, now we're getting somewhere, right? I think anybody watching me right now in this video, we can all agree unnecessary death and suffering is immoral. I think we can agree on that. Right? Okay, cool. When you enforce unnecessary death and suffering on an unwilling participant, without a doubt, because then there's UFC, and they don't inflict death on each other, but there is some suffering. You get punched in the face, it hurts, right? But at least it's consensual, so I give you that. But when you're forcing unnecessary death and suffering on an unwilling participant, that is immoral, right? Okay, cool. So I've said to people before, I say it all the time, meat, dairy, and eggs, not health food products. You don't eat meat, dairy, and eggs for health reasons, right? There is no human illness that can be cured or prevented by consuming animal products. I'm sorry, there's not, right? And if there is, I'd love to know. Somebody said anemia, which is weird because most iron sources are plant-based because iron is a mineral, right? It comes from the ground. So that don't work, right? But so anyways, there is no illness that can be prevented or cured by animal products. Okay, fine. So basically, by default, meat, dairy, and eggs, not health food products. Okay, cool. What about survival? If you're stranded somewhere and you have no plant-based foods to eat, you are real limited on your options, you're starving, and all you got is a spear and you can spot an animal in the distance. Well then, if you want to survive, you ain't got a whole lot of options. So you might have to do what you gotta do, right? Fine, I understand, I get it. Now, obviously, if you live in modern society, you're bickering with somebody on Facebook or you go or a live stream on YouTube, you have choices, right? You can go to a grocery store and you can get some Gatorade, some cookies, chips, a little bit of fruit, vegetables, whatever. If you chose to go to the meat and you buy the meat and all that type of stuff and you continue to support the animal agricultural industry, you're like, all right, cool, they're going to keep paying us for it, so we're going to keep doing it, right? So you're contributing to it continuing, which means you're actively supporting unnecessary death and suffering that is being forced onto an unwilling participant, which is immoral, right? Which means that the consumption and the purchasing of animal products is immoral. Case closed. Right? So that's it. That's it. That's the end of the debate. What is there else to talk about? Now, some people can continue to be intellectually dishonest, call me names. I am a soft, little, sissy vegan, whatever people want to call. I'm not going to use all the foul words people would use me. I want to force some bacon down your throat, you this and that, and they get all mad at me and pissed off and call me names. Some people do that because what I said, it just destroys some people's realities to the point where they now need to attack me and threaten me and call me names and stuff. I'm sorry that was done to you. It definitely was not my intention to piss you off that way. But to those of us who are reasonable people, where we don't react that way, that's it. This is not a complicated conversation. It really isn't. Okay. Look, I tell you I'll give you one more example. All right. Now, I'm going to speak from the male position, fellas. Right? Summertime's coming, you out grilling, getting your steak on, your wings, whatever you do, cracking open a cold one with your boys. I'm over here talking this vegan stuff, put some vegetables on the grill, you telling me, yo, you can kiss my ass? Fine, so be it, right? But check this out. You meet a beautiful woman. She's sweet, loving, kind, compassionate, beautiful individual, great smile. Right? Just a real loving person. She is vibrant. And she expressed interest in you for whatever reason, right? So you talk to her and whatnot, and then you come to the agreement to go on a date. You're gonna take her on a date. Good for you, right? You want to show her a good time on this date. Now you have two options on this date. This is hypothetical. You have two options on this date. Option number one, you can take her apple picking. Okay? Take a nice, comfortable walk on the grass, pick some apples, have some great conversation, and just really enjoy yourself and relax. Have a good time apple picking. Eat some good, nutritious apples, right? Sweet, it's delicious. Oh, the sugar of nature, beautiful. Second option, you can take her to a slaughterhouse. Oh, that's extreme. It's so unfair. You can take her to a slaughterhouse and have her butcher her first animal. You put the knife in her hand and you look her dead in her face and you go, okay, all right, you ready? You're gonna slit its throat now. All right? We're gonna get some meat because we're carnivores. You don't have to say because we're carnivores, but whatever. You put the knife in her hand and you walk her over to the animal and it's wiggling and screaming and carrying on and it's terrified and whatnot. And you're like, do it. Come on. It's fun. I don't know. What do you say to somebody at a slaughterhouse, right? Kill it. Right? So you take her to a slaughterhouse. Now, a woman like that, beautiful, vibrant, loving, compassionate woman, you bring her to a slaughterhouse. She's probably going to think you're a psychopath, right? Normally. So the question is, right, where would you take her? Obviously, you'd take her apple picking. I think anybody would. Any rational, logical person would say, yeah, take her apple picking. What the hell? Slaughterhouse. It's crazy. I'm not a maniac. But when you advocate for meat eating, where do you think it comes from? See, but we have a we have this drastic emotional response to violence, to real violence, right? When you terrify, let me tell you something, hanging you upside down by one leg is torture, okay? Oh, the animals don't get tortured. If you get walked to your own death, that's torture. Maybe psychological torture, but it's torture. These animals aren't stupid. They know what's happening, and they're freaking the hell out. Right? They see that knife, right? They see the blood around. They smell the death. They're mortified. They know what the hell's going on, right? And so we have this, the same way they have this drastic emotional response, so do we. Because by default, us as human beings, we are supposed to have empathy. We're supposed to be able to empathize. We're supposed to have compassion as the default position of a human being, as a spiritual being, right? As a being with decency and morality, we're supposed to have compassion. We're supposed to exhibit love and kindness to the living beings around us. Now, I know you can say, oh, when a tiger or a lion chases you down, or a bear, yeah, but you're not getting chased down by lions and bears, and we're not talking about all of that. We're talking about you as a living being, how you behave yourself. By default, we want love and kindness, right? That's why we hug each other, we do handshakes. We want to connect. We want to show appreciation. We want to celebrate each other. That's just what works, right? So you want to take this beautiful woman apple picking because you want to take her somewhere where life prevails. You don't want to take her somewhere where death prevails. You bite into an apple? Normal, delicious, great. You bite into the ass of a cow, you look disturbed.